Hi Srija, on your request, I'm uploading the first two parts explaining Ray Bradbury's There Will Come Soft Rains, and other parts will follow very soon. And I'm really sorry it took me so long because I was traveling and then I was very sick as well. But I hope that you did not have any immediate exams coming up and you have ample time to study this poem, and I hope this lecture will help you understand the story better. Oh, sorry, not the poem, the story. And I hope this video helps you understand this short story better. And in fact, to all the students who find this story difficult, I can totally relate to you because it is a science fiction, and science fictions are many a times written in a language, and their content is very boring and very difficult to understand at times, especially if you do not get the gist of what the author is saying. And at your age, it's very, very difficult to understand certain stories and to develop interest for them. So, I hope this video helps all of you. So, let's get into it. So, without wasting your time, let's get into it. There Will Come Soft Rains is a story by Ray Bradbury, and it's a science fiction. Okay, this is an important point which you should keep in mind. What kind of genre does it belong to? It's a science fiction. Science fiction क्या होता है? It's a kind of story, or we can call it sci-fi. It's a kind of a story which it's not based on real events, or even if it is based on real incidents, they will never claim that it is based on real people or real events. So science fiction is basically a kind of fiction and imaginary story which uses technology, which uses technical advancements and scientific advancements as its main element. Some destruction or something good, something bad, which comes out of these technical and scientific advancements. These stories talk about such things. And forgive me for my bad voice, I have a very bad cold. So let's get into it. So, in the living room, the voice clock sang tick tock, 7 o'clock, time to get up, time to get up, 7 o'clock. See, if you're noticing, whenever you'll read the story, you will notice that the machines, when they are declaring something, for example, over here, the voice clock, the clock has voice, just like your Alexa these days. So, it has voice, it tells you things, and this clock is also speaking the time, but it is speaking in a rhythmic tone, ऐसे पोयम की तरह, सॉन्ग की तरह गा के, टिक टॉक, 7 o'clock, time to get up, time to get up, 7 o'clock. So it's like very rhyming and very rhythmic sound. And it's a dystopian sort of an approach. This novel is dystopian कैसे, मतलब आपको इस नॉवल में कोई बहुत अच्छी चीज़ें, इवेंट्स नहीं देखने को मिलेंगे। आपको देखने को मिलेगा कि साइंस ने या फिर ह्यूमन काइंड की जो टेक्निकल एडवांसमेंट्स हैं, उन्होंने किस तरह से आपको हार्म किया है या एक ऐसा वर्ल्ड क्रिएट कर दिया है जो कि अच्छा नहीं है। इट्स द ऑपोजिट ऑफ गुड, इट्स sort of it's destroyed, या फिर the human race has vanished or something bad has happened. It's giving you a dark picture. So it's a dystopian short story. It's presenting a dystopian world to you. Post apocalyptic वर्ल्ड, पोस्ट एपोकलिप्टिक इज कि मतलब इतना कोई बड़ा इंसिडेंट हो गया है जिससे कि जो वर्ल्ड है उसमें it has been destroyed. A lot of lives have been lost, and especially इस story में what has happened is the human race has vanished, and some of the animals like cats and foxes, they are alive still, and they are also not making very good sounds. Their sounds are also like whining. It's as if they are also in pain, they are also suffering. And we will see a dog as well in the story which will eventually die, and we will see that its condition is also not good. So it's a dystopian kind of a short story, as if it were afraid that nobody would. So it's singing like as if it's afraid that nobody would get up. So it's giving you some bad omen, okay? The morning house lay empty. The clock ticked, repeating and repeating its sounds into the emptiness. 7 9, breakfast time, 7 9. So it's also calling them for breakfast, but nobody is coming to, eat. There is no human activity. In the kitchen, the breakfast stove gave a hissing sound and ejected from its warm interior 8 pieces of perfectly browned toast, 8 eggs sunny side up, 16 slices of bacon, 2 coffees, and two cool glasses of milk. So I did look up online for a breakfast stove, but earlier in those times there was no such machine which could prepare everything in one place, and that to an automated machine did not exist. It is the writer's imagination. It is a work of fiction. But in today's time, there is a machine known as the 3 in 1 3 in 1 kitchen station. So you can look it up, but it is also not fully automated. It also requires human intervention. So basically, the idea behind mentioning such a fictional machine is that he wants to give us an idea that our scientific advancement is leading us towards a fully automated kind of a life, where all our activities, all our functions will be performed by these robotic machines. And we will also, in fact, we will not be needed to give them any instructions. They will perform as per the data that we have fed them, and they will function automatically. So Ray Bradbury is sort of in the story because he belongs to a very old time. So in the story, he is predicting that in the future everything will be automated, machines will be running on their own. And you know the humans of the house, they have set up a system, there is a sort of a routine that they have put into those machines. तो उसके ही according those machines are working automatically. So maybe their breakfast, their usual breakfast, or their breakfast on that particular day is 8 pieces of perfectly brown toast, 8 eggs sunny side up, 16 slices of bacon, 2 coffees, 2 cool glasses of milk. So they have fitted into the machine their eating schedule, and now the machine is working on its own. तो थोड़ा बहुत तो you can relate, because now things have sort of gone in this direction, because machines are getting more and more automated. We are living in the AI world, and there is Alexa who also sings time for us. So you can relate to such things now. And the timeline is also 2026, okay, in this story. Again, you will get to know that he is talking about 2026, that 2026 mein things will happen this way. Today is August 4, 2026, said a second voice from the kitchen ceiling in the city of Allendale, California. Okay. It repeated the date 3 times for memory's sake. Today is Mr. Featherstone's birthday. Today is the anniversary of Tilita's marriage. Insurance is payable, and as are the water, gas, and light bills. So there is another Alexa kind of a device fitted into the ceiling of the kitchen, and it is telling them the date, what is the day today, what are the events today, is date pe what all events are there. There is Mr. Featherstone's birthday, there is the anniversary of Tilita's marriage, and then insurance is payable. So it's giving them all the details, just like Alexa does it for us. Somewhere in the walls, relays clicked, memory tapes glided under electric eyes. So, what does this mean? This is a difficult sentence. Somewhere in the walls, relays clicked, memory tapes glided under electric eyes. So relays clicked means it refers to the physical or mechanical action of computers and data storage फ्रॉम अ मिड 20th सेंचुरी पर्सपेक्टिव उसमें उस टाइम पे क्या होता था कि कंप्यूटर्स डेटा स्टोरेज यूनिट्स दे यूज टू this was the physical and mechanical action of those devices, and memory tapes glided. So these were the this is from the perspective or from the sense of 20th century. इस टाइम पे जो machines operate करी थी वो इस तरह से operate करती थी. And electric eyes, what does electric eyes means? Electronic sensors, optical sensors, basically that the machines they are watching. So instead of human eyes, what is keeping an eye on the activities inside the house? The machines, or we can say the house itself is watching. The electronic sensors and the optical sensors are keeping an eye. 8-1 tick tock, 8-1 o'clock, off to school, off to work, run run, 8-1. See, so poetic. So now the clock is telling them there is nobody actually. So now the clock is declaring the time, and it is declaring that it is time to go to school and to work, because otherwise they will be late. But no doors slammed, no carpets took the soft tread of rubber heels. That means there was nobody who went outside, who ran outside, who walked outside. Nobody opened and shut the house's doors, and there was nobody who walked on the carpets. Soft tread of rubber heels, probably the owner of the house, the lady of the house, whenever she left, she used to wear heels, and her heels would softly walk on the carpet at the entrance of the house. It was raining outside. The weather box, now the weather box, again just like the breakfast stove, is a fictional device. So the weather box on the front door, it sang quietly, rain, rain, go away. Umbrellas, raincoats for today. So Ray Bradbury is making a prophecy that in 2026, how things are actually going on. By that time, what will happen is devices like the breakfast stove and the weather box will come into existence, which will automatically prepare your breakfast as per schedule, and they will also tell you the weather box will tell you the weather outside, and what kind of clothing you should be wearing, what is the appropriate clothing for the day, for the weather. And the rain tapped on the empty house, echoing. Now it's raining, and the empty house, because there is nobody, there is no noise, there is no sound, and it's echoing. The only sound that you can hear apart from the robotic voices, the natural sound is of rain falling on the tapping on the empty house. And I'm writing down a word, EERIE, eerie. The atmosphere is very eerie. It's making you uncomfortable, it's making you feel scared and worried, because the author has presented a very comfortable setting, but deep down we all know, since there are no human beings, no lifelike activities going on, and we can only hear robotic voices, and we can only hear in the distance the sounds of foxes and whining cats, we get a sense that something very wrong has happened. सो व्हाट हैपेंस इज, अगर तुम्हें ऐसा दिखाना है ना कि बहुत कुछ अजीब सा हो रहा है, तुम्हें जो पढ़ने वाला जो रीडर है, इफ यू वांट टू इन्वोक अ सेंस ऑफ a strange sense in them that something very bad is happening, and to make them uncomfortable, the method, a great method is, one is to only show that everything is very in a very bad condition, कि वो ऐसे भी तो दिखा सकता था ना कि everything is destroyed, there is no human presence, everything is has ended, and so, but he has given you a very comfortable setting कि एक house है जिसमें all the machines are working very beautifully, they are operating very nicely, they are putting out warm breakfast, they are singing songs for the people of the house. But then that gives you a more uncomfortable sense when you realize that everything feels so normal, but deep down nothing is normal, because there are no humans, and there is no life. You cannot hear any life up till now, you cannot hear any dog barking, any cat meowing, or any sort of thing like that. So it makes you even more uncomfortable. What is happening? Why is everything robotic? Why can we only hear robotic sounds? Why can we only hear the machines speaking? And why are they functioning so normally? If there is nobody in the house, who are they cooking for? Who are they telling to, get up? Or who are they telling to take the raincoats because it's raining? So it makes you uncomfortable intentionally. Outside the garage chimed and lifted its door to reveal the waiting car. The garage is also opening and shutting down automatically. After a long wait, the door swung down again. At 8:30, the eggs were shriveled. Shriveled मतलब they dried up, क्योंकि there was nobody to eat them, so they dried up. सूख गए अंडे जो थे, जो कि हमारे breakfast stove ने prepare किए थे. And the toast, the bread, was like stone. So everything was cold, everything was stale now, and the food was spoiled. An aluminium wedge scraped them into the sink. So aluminium wedge is kind of a tool, and it transfers the food into the sink. वो फूड को वेसल्स यानी यूटेंसिल्स से उठा के, it transfers the food from the cutlery, from the utensils, it transfers them into the sink, where hot water whirled them down a metal throat, which digested and flushed them away to the distant sea. So, once they were in the sink, hot water instantly started running, and the food, it was drained down, it moved from the metal pipe all the way down, uh, and it was then flushed into sea. मतलब drainage, basically the drainage system is working automatically. Food sink में गया, and from the sink it was washed down into the sea. So the drainage system is also like kind of working automatically, everything is working automatically. The dirty dishes were dropped into a hot washer and emerged twinkling dry. So the machines have also, dishwasher was invented back then, but now it's very common. You must be aware that dishwashers are very common nowadays. So they it's giving you a sense that there is no sort of shopping and looking into the fact that there is nobody to eat the prepared food, there is nobody to use those utensils, those dishes. They are being cleaned, they are being dried down, they are being put back into their positions without any human, since there is no human being over there, so without any reason, all of this is happening automatically, because the machines have to perform their duty. They're not concerned with the fact that no human beings are left to enjoy this service any longer. 9:15 sang the clock, time to clean. So see the rhythm and the rhyming. 9:15, time to clean. So it's like a song. and it makes you even more uncomfortable. Why are they singing? This is such a bad time and place to be singing like that. Out of warrens in the wall, warrens is basically maze like network of small connected spaces, passages, or rooms. So there's a network of passages, there's a network of rooms, connected rooms in the wall. And out of that network, so out of the wall, basically, tiny robotic mice darted. They emerged. They started moving about um, the house. The rooms were a crawl with the small cleaning animals. So the mice started to move about the house. And these are robotic mice. So definitely they are not alive mice. They are not the real animals. They are just a robotic imitation of the real mice, of the real animals, of the real pests. And they are there instead. The real mice are always very mischievous. They create a lot of ruckus. And these robotic mice, on the other hand, they are clean freaks. They are cleaning the apartment. They are cleaning the house. All rubber and metal. They are made up of metal and rubber. They thudded against chairs, so when they're moving, they are also colliding. They are also hitting the chairs, and they are whirling their mustached runners, which means जैसे मूछें होती है ना, the mustaches of a mouse. uh, the same kind of imitation has been created in these robotic mice. They also have mustaches, and these mustaches they are using to clean, to sweep the dirt and dust from the house. Kneading the rug nap. Okay, kneading the rug nap means they are sweeping the dust and dirt from the rug. Sucking gently at hidden dust. Also, they're using their mouth to suck in the dirt and dust in the house. Then, like mysterious invaders, they popped into their burrows. So they moved back into the walls, into those networks which they came out from. And they are like mysterious invaders. We don't know when they came, they did their work, and when they vanished. Their pink electric eyes faded. The house was clean. So when they were functioning, their eyes were shining pink. Because again, they are robots, they have these features. 10 o'clock, the sun came out from behind the rain. Now it has stopped raining. The house stood alone in the city of rubble and ashes. Only this house has remained. All the rest of the houses, they have turned into rubble and ashes. They have been destroyed completely. So definitely something very bad has happened. Maybe something like a nuclear reaction, an atomic reaction, an atomic attack, or something like that, especially if not in the entire world, in that particular place, in that particular city, in that particular neighborhood. And everything else is just rubble and dust and ashes. uh, सब कुछ मलबा बन चुका है ना, and only that houses remained. This was the one house left standing. At night, the ruined city, मतलब जो destroy हो चुकी है, that city has been destroyed, gave off a radioactive glow which could be seen for miles. So radioactive glow means definitely some kind of a nuclear reaction took place, some nuclear attack took place, and you can also observe the radiations from that. The Chernobyl is a place where such kind of a nuclear explosion took place years back, when Russia was, when all these countries were one known as the Soviet Union. So you can look into it. And Chernobyl, that particular place is still very much radioactive. There are no humans left in that particular region. Everyone possibly migrated. They must have suffered cancers and all. And the animals and flowers over there are also mutated versions. because of the radioactive reaction. You must have heard about Hiroshima and Nagasaki, what the atomic bombs did to those two cities. So this is the kind of effect that happens because of nuclear reactions. 1015, the garden sprinklers, a sprinkle system which is also used, this is the image, and they are used to, water plants automatically, your crops, your plants, your whatever is there in your garden or your park. They whirled up in golden founts. Since the sun has come out, it's no longer raining. So the water that they are producing, it's like founts. Fountain. When you see a fountain, the water comes out in a certain way, and because it's the sun is out, so those water droplets, they are seeming very golden. They have that golden glow, filling the soft morning air with scatterings of brightness, and they are shining, so it's very bright and beautiful to look at. The water pelted window panes. The rain, it had fallen very heavily on the window panes. Okay, so sorry, not the rain, the water from the your sprinklers. So it's falling, fell on the window panes of the house as well, running down the charred west side where the house has been burned. So now the intention of telling you where the water is flowing is to tell you that the west side of the house has been charred, पूरी तरह से जल गई है, it has been blackened. So something very terrible has definitely happened, which has destroyed each and every element of that neighborhood. Where the charred west side, where the house had been burned, evenly free of its white paint. So the entire side is black. There is no white paint on it like before. The entire west face of the house was black, save for five places. Only five spots were not black, they were white. They were white spots. Here, a silhouette. Silhouette is basically जो परछाई होती है, a dark shape, an outline. Here, the silhouette in paint of a man mowing a lawn. Here, as in a photograph, a woman bent to pick flowers. Still farther over, their images burned on wood. In one titanic instant, a small boy, hands flung into the air, higher up, the image of a thrown ball, and opposite him, a girl, hands raised to catch a ball which never came down. So, the entire west side is black, but you can see five, five silhouettes. You can see five spots which are in the form of a shape. ऐसा है कि वाइट पेंट पूरी वॉल से हट चुका है, बट देर आर फाइव स्पॉट्स ऑन दिस वॉल टू द वेस्ट साइड ऑफ द हाउस, जहाँ पे आप देख सकते हो कि फाइव शेप्स आपको दिख रहे हैं वाइट कलर के ही. उनकी आउटलाइंस इस तरह से क्रिएट हो गई कि जो अंदर का पेंट है दैट इज that has not been burned. So you can see the white paint inside of those five spots, and those five figures you can see on the wall. So that is because when these people were performing their usual activities, these are the members of this house, definitely. So when they were performing their activities, the radiations fell onto them, and they were sort of frozen in time. वो जैसे you can see द मैन मूविंग अ लॉन, तो लॉन की सफाई कर रहा है, मो कर रहा है ग्रास को. तो जो वो एक्टिविटी कर रहा था, वो उसी में उसी टाइम पे जैसे ही वो रेडिएशन या रेडियो एक्टिव अकरेंस हुई, वो न्यूक्लियर ब्लास्ट हो या जो भी हो, वो इंसिडेंट हुआ, उस वजह से क्या हुआ, वो इंसान उसी टाइम पॉसिबली he burnt down, he turned into ashes, into he turned into ashes, राख बन गया, वो खत्म हो गया. एंड सिंस जैसे वो वॉल के आगे खड़ा था एंड ही वाज परफॉर्मिंग दैट एक्टिविटी, तो उसके पीछे जितना भी एरिया था वॉल का, वो बर्न डाउन नहीं करी. जितना जितना भी उस इंसान का परछाई उस वॉल पर पड़ रही थी, बिकॉज ऑफ दैट क्या हुआ कि एक आउटलाइन सी क्रिएट हो गई और वाइट पेंट अंदर ही उसमें बना रहा, जिस वजह से यू कैन सी कि आपको एक फिगर जैसा दिख रहा है, उस पूरी बर्न्ट वॉल पे एक वाइट फिगर दिख रहा है ऑफ अ मैन मूविंग अ लॉन। तो क्या हुआ कि दीज पीपल वर परफॉर्मिंग देयर एक्टिविटीज, और उसी टाइम पे वो न्यूक्लियर ब्लास्ट या वो जो भी डिस्ट्रक्शन हुआ, उस वजह से देवर कंप्लीटली डिस्ट्रॉयड इन दैट वेरी इंस्टेंस। तो उनकी वो लास्ट, जिसे बोलते हैं ना, निशानी रह गई। दीज वर द लास्ट रेमिनेंट्स ऑफ दोज पीपल। सो इससे हमें पता चलता है देवर 5 फैमिली मेंबर्स। कौन कौन थे? फादर था जो कि लॉन को मो कर रहा था। देन देयर वाज अ मदर हु वाज बेंडिंग डाउन टू पिक फ्लावर्स। फिर उससे दूर, अब वॉल की बात नहीं हो रही, अब उससे दूर, देयर इमेजेस बर्न्ड ऑन वुड ऑन अ टाइटैनिक इंस्टेंट। तो वुड, जहाँ पे कुछ वुड प्लेस्ड होगी, मे बी उस वॉल की ही एक पार्ट होगी वो वुड, उस पे क्या है, you can see the figure of a small boy and his hands are up in the air, and he is trying to catch a ball. No, he has thrown a ball possibly. And then there is an image of a ball which has been thrown, and then there's a girl who has her hands raised to catch a ball, and that ball never came down because everybody right on the spot they burnt down. The 5 spots of paint: the man, the woman, the children, ball. Man, woman, girl, boy, and the ball. These 5 spots have remained. The rest was a thin charcoal layer. Titanic instant, you can write down. What is a Titanic instant? Titanic instant means in the powerful instant. Okay. कि मतलब उस टाइम पे यू कैन जस्ट इमेजिन कि कैसा रहा होगा कि देवर having a casual routine day, they were enjoying themselves, they were performing very usual, leisurely activities in fact, and usi time pe their bodies completely burned down, they were completely destroyed, their existence was completely destroyed, and all we have left is their uh, their figures etched on the wall sort of. Don't mention in your answer any nuclear destruction or any things like nuclear reaction. You can write down possibly a nuclear reaction, possibly a nuclear, yeah, possibly a nuclear destruction or an atomic attack. Something you can so use the word possibly because it has not been explicitly mentioned in the text कि हुआ क्या था exactly. The 5 spots of paint, the man, the woman, the children, the ball remained. The rest was a thin charcoal layer. बाकी सारा area was completely black on the west side of the house, west wall. The gentle sprinkler rain filled the garden with falling light. Until this day, how well the house had kept its peace. How carefully it had inquired who goes there, what's the password, and getting no answer from lonely foxes and whining cats. So, what is the kind of life form which has remained? Lonely foxes and whining cats. Whining cats means they are in a sort of a pain. It's as if they are meowing in pain. It had shut up its windows and drawn shades in an old maidenly preoccupation with self protection, which bordered on a mechanical paranoia. Okay, so up till now, it seemed as if the house was happy, peaceful. It did its routine checkups. Who is there? What's the password? Nobody answered. There was just foxes and cats, no human beings, no dogs, nothing, no pets, nothing. And it did not get any answer, so it shut down its doors, its windows. Windows were shut down, shades were drawn. So now this sentence: in an old maidenly preoccupation with self protection which bordered on mechanical paranoia. Now, mechanical paranoia means that the machine, the robotic house, it reacts with extreme and useless fear of tiny things like birds and foxes. Mechanical paranoia is because it's a machine, it is performing its usual mechanical routinely duties, and paranoia is useless fear, so it's uselessly fearing the presence of harmless creatures like foxes, cats, birds, but this is its duty and it is performing it in an old maidenly preoccupation with self protection. Basically, the house is protecting itself, just like a woman who is of age, a particular age, थोड़ा उसकी age हो चुकी है, exceed कर चुकी है, she's not very young, she's probably in her mid late 20s, early 30s, and she's not married. So that kind of a woman, that is a maiden, okay, an unmarried woman, and old maiden, so she has sort of exceeded that so-called perfect age for marriage, and now she's very unnecessarily, she is preoccupied, that she is very much concerned with protecting her dignity, protecting herself from the men in society. Basically, this sense of protecting your your respect, your dignity. So in that, just like an old maiden, uselessly fears a lot of she fears that she will have to face men's advances and she will lose her dignity and all that. She's very much concerned with saving her respect and dignity. In that same way, that house is also very uselessly, it is fearing the presence of foxes and harmless creatures, and it is making sure that nobody, no unauthorized being, whether animals or humans, can enter its premises. Okay, so stay tuned, and I will shortly accompany this video with another video containing another segment of this short story, and such kind of videos will come up frequently now, so that you can understand this short story better. So stay tuned.